Today we're opening a Magic the Gathering Edge of Eternities play booster. Am I a play booster? Because who the heck has $400 for a collector booster? Now I saw right before I started recording that the collector's boosters was falling. You know, for like 360 right now. But even that's too much. If you know, I never really liked. I stopped playing Magic right about after what was that set called? Theros Beyond Death came out. And that coincidentally was about the time that they really started with the Universes Beyond stuff. I believe the next thing after Theros Beyond Death was the My Little Pony stuff. So let's look at this here. Enters 1/1 counters the amount of mana you spent to cast it. Okay, so it's next cost. Okay, whenever you attack, you may remove a counter from each of 2 creatures you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature. Okay, it's not too bad. And then of course there's a foil in every pack now. I mean, foils used to mean something, you know. Now they just kind of give them out like candy, right? Kind of worth nothing, you know. I used to collect foil lands, and then they started, you know, just giving them out like nothing, you know. And I don't know, because now there's like, you buy a collector's booster, and it's all foils, so it's like foils are basically like nothing special, right? And then it's not that bad for a 1-drop. And you know, it's like, well, now the foil's not supposed to see here. It's the rare. Sacrifice another artifact. Exile the top X cards from your library, where X is 1 plus the mana value of the sacrificed artifact. You may play those cards this turn. Maybe. On a foil common. You know, I used to collect foil lands. I think I said that already. But, you know, I think it was Battle for Zendikar. You know, they had those really nice... One last during your turn, tap a target artifact or creature and draw a card. Why does that seem pretty good? Again, I haven't played Magic in a while, so... Power creep probably set in very much. But anyway, you know, in Battle for Zendikar, they had those really nice full art lands. And then you get a foil one, and it was like, wow. But now it's like they give out full art lands in like every collector's pack. So this is the rare. Whenever Hylia or another creature or artifact you control enter, gain 1 life. Beginning of your end step, draw a card if you gain 3 or more life this turn. Warp. Cast this card from your hand for its warp cost, exile it beginning of the next end step, then cast it from exile later on. It's not bad. It's also foil. I still like foil lands even if they're not special anymore, so I'll probably put that in my binder. A foil land collection. So now, why did I buy this box? Sweat there. Am I showing off the thing? I don't know. I'm not really sure why I bought this. The only really card I want out of here, there's 2 of them. One of them is that special guest, was it the Sliver Overlord card? Because I love slivers. And I love Eldrazi. And I kind of want that Sliver Overlord. Target player mills cards equal to your total life. See, but this is like, you know, this would be cool to get if it wasn't like a super common thing, and it's not even foil. I mean, I do kind of like that, though. It doesn't really look like a Magic card, though. It looks like something out of like a Star Wars, which I guess this is, you know, space themed, but I think that kind of goes back to my thing about why I quit Magic, and it's the Universes Beyond. And I'm I'm a natural born hater, right? But I don't want to crap on someone else's fun. So I just kind of disengaged with it when Universes Beyond came out. Because I just like, I need things to be thematically consistent. Right? And then, you know, we're going to space, and then Aether Drift had the weird cars. And then most of the Universes Beyonds don't make sense. So let's see here. Choose one. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Turn 1 or 2 creature and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Foil common. And so, like, back to the thematically correct thing. So even though, you know, you'll have like, you know, Final Fantasy or Avatar, which is like thematically adjacent, right? Like we've had monks and things that, you know, could make sense for Avatar to be there, and you know, Final Fantasy still fantasy. Wait, what is this? Unsacrifice unless you tap and untap permanent. Okay. And it's just like I don't want to see licensed characters, you know, when I play the game. Isn't this like a... Oh, hello. Isn't this like an actual good card though? Wait a minute. Here's return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. It's just a... Is this one of the good ones? I know some of these lands are kind of good. I've only like loosely looked these up. I don't think this is one of them, because it only taps for a regular and it's a desert, so you can't get it with a fetch. I don't know. I don't really like looking up. Put them up there just because I feel like those are kind of rare to get out of a regular play booster. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, I know that, like, you know, Final Fantasy brought a lot of players to the game from what I told, because a lot of people like Final Fantasy. I don't really give a crap about Final Fantasy, if I'm being honest, and that's probably one of my more controversial opinions on anything. But, you know, I'm glad it brought people to the game. You know, I'm glad, like, you know, the local game stores are getting more players, and, you know, I guess I'm kind of glad Wizards is selling more stuff, even though I don't really care. So we got a mythic here. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has pay 15. Exile the Dominion Bracelet. You control target opponent during their next turn. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is this creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery. And then a foil uncommon. But like, while Final Fantasy cards are just kind of like whatever with my whole thematic thing, it's still kind of cringe to me. But I'm more sitting there thinking about, okay, if I saw like someone just drop Deadpool or like the upcoming Spider-Man set, I'm just like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Spider-Man swinging in. Like, what's he doing? Yeah, I just, you know, I don't know. Ooh, just a Shockland, right? Yeah. Oh, and the Hive Pool. Both of these are cards I wanted. The Hive Pool is actually what I'm really looking for outside of the Sliver Overlord alternate art, or the special guest art, or whatever. See if that can go in the Sliver deck, and then that's actually a cool looking mountain, but again, it just looks like something out of Star Wars. It doesn't look like something out of Magic. You know? It just doesn't look like something out of Magic. The one thing I am kind of glad, though, about Magic is it still seems that a lot of the play pieces, there are still options, right, to get like your regular cards, like these kind of cards, for cheap, so that people that actually want to play the game so we get another shot. People that actually want to play a game can afford to. And what's this here? You may play an additional land on each of your turns. You may play lands from your graveyard. For a land you control to enter, mill a card. This is a foil land, another foil land. I didn't think that I would be getting, you know, these kinds of cards from a play booster so consistently. So that might explain why some of those cards never have any value. I don't know. Maybe I will go to the next draft event. I don't see me playing any sort of structured format. Maybe Commander, but even then. I do like drafts though. I like drafts because I'm a degenerate gambler and like opening booster packs. Alright, so let's see here. When the Sarima enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. And then Station. I'm guessing Station is kind of like the Kaladesh vehicles, right? Tap a vehicle, charge counters. Ugh. Back. Oh, and then a foil spacecraft, rare. When this spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. For 8 though. I feel like there are better 8 drops than that. But that's pretty good though, I think, right? Noticing a lot of land-based effects. Let's see here. When this creature enters, create a lander token. It's an artifact with pay 2 tap. Sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Okay. That doesn't sound too bad. What was I talking about? I got distracted when we got that pack with the... What are those, full arts? I don't know. Let's just wait, we'll get the... Oh, the mythic. This land enters tapped. Add green. Station. Add green for each creature you control. I don't know, is that even good? What's this one here? Target player... Oh, we already pulled one of these, right? But this is just the better art version. Like, I understand why, you know, they do the universes beyond, right? Because people will be like, oh, it's the same reason why Fortnite does all the all the collaborations. And I kind of think that that's kind of what made Fortnite cringe. Because, I'm all about thematic consistency, right? And, you know, it's not that I couldn't see, you know, some of this stuff. But, like, you know, why does this have to be a spacecraft? Why couldn't this just be another vehicle? You know, like an airship. You know, we've already seen airships. Why does it have to be a spacecraft? Why are we in space? Breeding pool. Shockland. Let's see here. You pay an additional land on each of your turn. Oh, we already saw this guy, right? I am surprised, again, at the amount of, you know, decent cards I was getting. I think Shockland's usually, what, $10 for a normal one? paid, what, like $160 for this box from Best Buy for the pre-order. Not bad. I don't know. We're not even, I think we're like halfway through. I'm pretty content with the things I've gotten. Oh, the Eldrazi Temple. This is one of the other cards I would have wanted. I think this one's actually worth something. Again, I love Eldrazi's and I love slivers. So, getting an Eldrazi card, the Eldrazi Temple, is very nice for me. So, let's see here. Another spacecraft. +1 station. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. 8+, flying death touch. Whenever this spacecraft attacks, each opponent discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Okay. That seems kind of mediocre. I don't know. It's probably the card I think's mediocre is probably like a meta-defining card or something. Just gonna take a quick drink there. You know, I've been kind of dumping on the Universes Beyond sets. You know, if you like Universes Beyond, let me know in a comment below. Let's start a discussion about this. Because I understand, I think I said this, I understand that, like, it's like, okay, we can get more players in because they recognize the IP, you know, Final Fantasy, Fallout, you know, they just had that TV show that is apparently really popular, even though I refuse to watch it. Let's see here. Enchant creature you control. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put target creature card from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. Void. Beginning of your end step. Sacrifice this aura unless a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn. I swear I've seen this card. Is this... I don't know where I've seen this card. I'm going to put it down here because I feel like it's worth something for some reason. I can't remember where. I think it was from a Tolarian Community College video. But it might have also been when I was looking up the prices. I can't remember. But anyway, if you like the Universes Beyond, leave a comment. I'm interested to see, you know, if you like it, why do you like it? And if you don't like it, like I don't like it, you know, just talk about that. But leave a comment. So exile all creatures and spacecraft. Pretty simple. Yeah, foil, what is this? It's an uncommon. And the Star Wars looking mountain. I'll tell you what though. You know what? Hold on. The reason I'm looking, so I cut away there. So let's look at this foil. Like, look at how like flat that is, right? Like, that's a nice foil. And then it's like, you know, I got these from, if anyone don't know, these were like from like the first launch of the Secret Lairs, and then just like these are in the, and they're just like they're pringled. They're pringled so bad, and I've had these sitting in a book with a weight on them, trying to flatten them out a little bit since I found them in the attic, and they're still like super pringled. Like, look. So I'm glad that the print quality has gotten way better. But I cannot believe that they sold cards that pringled inside, right? Like the packaging still. Let's some of these other cards over to the side here. Because my pile's getting too big, I'm gonna knock it over because I'm kind of a klutz. So I'm glad to see the quality control is getting kind of better. I wish Pokemon's quality control would be better. Let's see here. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token with flying, and this token can block only creatures with flying, and then warp. And, ooh, and then another one. Landfall. Whenever land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn. I can see this being pretty good. What is this pack? Oh boy. Alright, so this is Tezzeret Cruel Captain here in foil. When an artifact you control enters, puts a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. Untap target artifact or creature. It's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Okay, so okay, so that says the first one's ability is a 0. Okay, so what's the alternate? You get an emblem with at the beginning of combat. On your turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. And then we got a nice full art foil island. Again, not really that impressive to me because you kind of get those all the time in the collector's packs. You know, if this was like 10 years ago, before they sold out to the whales. I mean, I'm still gonna put it in the binder. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying I'm not. It's still cool, but you know, it used to be cooler. You used to be cooler, Wizards, and now you're just a sellout. I don't know what I'm talking. Let's see here. Land, planet, enters tap, tap for red, station, put 12+, sacrifice a land, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token, then creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. That might be good. I don't know. I've noticed a string where like a lot of mythics are just kind of garbage. And that's kind of always been the case of sometimes you just have garbage mythics. Jeez. I feel like I'm playing the booster box game again. Let's see here. Weapons manufacturing. Whenever a non-target artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions. When this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. I don't know why I'm holding the card off to the side. It's a foil? No, it's just a regular one. When I first got into Magic, it was the Khans block, Khans of Tarkir. And I don't remember doing it with the Khans of Tarkir set specifically, but I remember doing it with Dragons of Tarkir and what was it, Fate Reforged after that. I would just go to my game store and like the degenerate gambler I am I would play the booster box game. I would buy a booster box, rip packs, get cards, sell them right there, and get another box. I got degenerate. Let's see here. Vigilance Menace. When another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Seer Vondam and you gain 1 life. When Seer Vondam dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Right. We got the foil dog. And I remember the owner of that game store, he was like, he was cool, you know, he'd give good deals or whatever, you know, like a good game store does. But then he would always cut me off. And I'm just like, he'd like, you spent too much money. I'm like, I only bought 1 box. Every other box was free. Oh man, those were good times. I don't think I've ever actually played Magic at that game store. I think I only went in to buy Ancient Tomb. This one's pretty good, isn't it? This deals 2 damage to you. Let's see here. Beginning of your combat, on your turn, up to 1 target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2 and gains flying until end of turn. And at 9 it gets flying and vigilance and becomes a 4/4 G's. Foil uncommon on a foil planes. I'm gonna end up looking up the prices after filming this. Focus. I don't know, be like, oh hey, this is like a really expensive card, and you're just kind of throwing it on the table like a dingus. I don't care. If I cared about cards, I would just buy signals. Let's see here, another mythic. When this enchantment enters, if you cast it, shuffle your hand and graveyard in your library, then draw 7 cards. The first spell each player casts during each of their turns may be cast without paying its mana cost. I can't tell if that's good or bad, and that concerns me. Foil common, unfoil land. Take another drink here. So I'm guessing we got, it's like 6 packs left. Maybe more. Somewhere between 6 and 9. We're on the ending stretch here. In case my yapping has annoyed anybody. Now, do you guys prefer the yapping videos or the quick edit, you know, shorts type videos that I refuse to do shorts because I think that they're ruining people's attention spans, but I still kind of like the editing style. Let's see here. Did we already open one of these? I feel like I've already opened this. Let's see here. Enters tap. Tap for blue. Blue and tap. Add blue for each artifact you control. That seems dangerous. Ooh. Again, dude, it just looks like Star Wars. Like, this just looks like... I was going to say Luke taking off from Dagobah, but I guess that would be a swamp, not a plains, huh? Focus there, thank you. And I just don't get why, you know, these can't just be non-space themes. I don't understand why the Spider-Man set, okay, coming out, because they couldn't get the license for Magic Online, so they just have non-Spider-Man themed cards. I don't understand why we couldn't have just gotten those. You know, like, for people who just want them, you know? See, 2/2, this spell can't be countered. Trample haste, creature spells you control can't be countered, combat damage can't be prevented. This card would go great in my red, green, blue hate deck. Foil Island. I don't really have too many decks put together anymore. I have most of the cards still, but they're not really in decks. They're kind of either in binders or hidden in a box somewhere. And the only decks I didn't take apart were like I think I still have the standard decks from the cons block in a put together, and then I have my Minotaurs. Let's see, another Shockland for Watery Grave. Let's see here, 0-point Ballad. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less. You lose X life. If X is 6 or more, return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. I see that being pretty good. I feel like this box had way more pulls than I thought it would. Maybe that's why the cards aren't really worth that much, because the pull rates are too good. Lands. Tap for colorless. 2 tap X untapped artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Pay 5 to create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature. Let's see that being good. Let's see here. Enchant artifact or creature you control. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchantment. Wait a minute. Oh, instead create that many tokens. Okay. feel like this is part of an infinite. I've watched a couple videos of people playing this set, and I know there was an infinite combo, and I feel like that was part of it, but I don't really remember. Bioengineered future. When this enchantment enters, create a lander token. Artifact with 2 tap, sacrifice this token. I think we've seen this card before. Yeah. And of course, the swamp. Well, the swamp does not look like Dagobah. The plains did. Oh, yeah. Disappointing swamp art. Let's see here. We got, what, 3 packs left? Finishes up before I get another knock at the door. Being good. Already seen that. Only one common and a swamp. Real question is what am I gonna do with all of these cards? Lifelink. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose a life. Beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, created. This seems pretty good. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. Oil uncommon. Let's see, last pack. We get some last pack magic. Can we be blessed by the heart of the cards? Let's see here. Oh wow. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types, and pay 2, sacrifice, you get 3 life. Sacrifice the food, deals 3 damage to each opponent at the beginning of each end step. If you gain life this turn, untap. You know what? You know what it's time for? It's time for a couple bonus packs. I got these for a buy one, get one 70% off. So they came up a little under market. Probably equivalent to market after shipping and handling. Let's check these out. I don't know if there's a card trick for these, so we're just gonna go. Let's see here. Strike, Vigilance, Haste, start your engines. I don't remember what that is. I have not played this set. Let's see, other words. I think it's based on if you don't play it. It's something about the end of the turn, right? In your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Mounts and vehicles you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled. Like this. I have no context for these sets, so I don't know what these mechanics are. Your opponent activates an ability of a permanent that isn't a mana ability, a 1/1 white zombie creature token. Once per turn. See that? That's crap. That's crap. Menace. Whenever you discard one or more cards, create that many tap 2/2 black zombie creatures. It's not so bad. It's the common. The foil swamp. Some crap. The only thing I know that's good in this set is a Lotus. So unless I see a Lotus, I'm gonna assume it's crap. Did anyone enjoy Aether Drift? If I was still playing Magic at the time this came out, I would have probably not have enjoyed this set. For this, like, look at this. This doesn't look like a Magic card. Look at this. Whenever a creature... this honestly looks like something that would be in, like, an unset. I'm not even going to entertain it. And I remember watching the booster box game video from Tulare Community College, and the professor was like, this card doesn't even look like the guy. And he's right. Another one of this guy. Foil Mythic. It's like trample. When this creature enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact creatures and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less. Reveal them, put them in your hand, and then shuffle. That. A nice foil swamp. And crap, what's that? More crap. Alright, we got crap. Let's do a quick recap here. So this is the pile of cards that I kind of wanted. You know, we got the foil lands. I collect the foil lands. I don't care if they give them away. And the Aether Drift lands. Of course, we got 2 swamps. The foil island, the foil plains. This beast probably going to go in my green, red, blue hate deck because F blue players. The Sliver card, obviously, and then the Eldrazi Temple. Now for the cards that I have value, I'm going to put these on the screen from the bonus pack. Of course, we got our Shocklands, Sacred Foundry, Watery Grave, the Breeding Pool, the Watery Grave again, the Uthros, the Avendo, the Tezzeret Foil Planeswalker, and then, of course, the Ancient Tomb. Maybe I underplayed when I opened it because I didn't realize it was as much as it was. But in case you're curious, this is how much I paid for the box, and this is how much we got out of it. Thanks for watching.